So, Highest to Lowest is the new Spike Lee film, Spike Lee joint, as he lovingly refers to him, following Black Klansman and Defy Bloods. Highest to Lowest is Spike Lee's fifth collaboration with Denzel Washington. It is a remake of an Akira Kurosawa film, High and Low. It came out in the 1960s. It is kind of a special movie, a bit of a love letter to New York from Spike Lee, who infamously is a New York man. Let's see, it's about David King David, as he's referred to, played by Denzel Washington, who is a high-profile record executive in New York. Runs Stray Dog Studios, I believe is the name, and has the magic ear. Can hear any track and know if it's going to be a banger or not. He's been bringing artists up, celebrating and elevating Black culture all throughout his career, but now he's looking for something different. David's looking for a change. And while everybody loves him and what he can do, this change happens to come at this point in his life where this tragedy strikes and his son, Trey, is kidnapped. And when King David's son is kidnapped, the cops come in and it turns into this whole caper, and his wife is terrified. And he's got to get him back by giving away $17.5 million of his own hard-earned money in this like hot heist exchange where he drops a bag off a train, and hopefully to get his son back and get things back on track. His driver, played by Jeffrey Wright, is involved in this. He's a man of faith. His son is also tangled up in it, Kyle. And I don't know. I don't want to say too much more. The film also stars A$AP Rocky. It also stars Ice Spice. Ilfinish Hedera is his wife. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Son Trey is played by Aubrey Joseph. It's a complicated movie, and it's most notably put out by Apple and A24, who collaborated on this to put out Spike's new film. And despite that, it's not in many theaters. And I'm looking forward to talking about why, because after having seen it, I think it becomes clear that, like, while Spike is an indie darling and kind of a darling of cinema, this movie's kind of got some problems. Kind of got some problems. There's some parts of this that don't work that good, and then there's parts that work fantastic. So I'm looking forward to talking about it, deconstructing it a little bit. Andy, what'd you think of Highest to Lowest?
So I was really, really excited about this. It had all these great elements, Spike Lee, Denzel Washington, Kurosawa as well. So I was really excited to get into this, and we got about 20 minutes into the movie, and I was like, oh no, this is kind of bad. This might be terrible. Yeah. And I'm going to come in hot on this movie because it seems like everyone is really afraid to critique Spike Lee because of who he is and because he is such an incredible director and he's an institution. But I'm a nobody, so I'm happy to do it. I think that this is a bad film, and this feels like streaming slop, for lack of a better term. It feels like he got paid by Apple to, do a film by algorithm, something that you would watch in the background on a second screen. There are some good moments, and like Denzel Washington he's bringing his A game. He is fantastic in the movie, but overall it's like, it's dad core cinema. It reminds me a lot of F1, actually, where old guy comes in, tells everyone what to do and what, saves the day. The script is just really weak. There's no drama. The crime is uninspired. It's never convincing when all the kidnapping happens. Like I was expecting some really elaborate like kidnapping scene or like negotiation scene, and it all just kind of feels like a TV movie where in one scene Washington is discussing like some business deal with his movie, and then the next he gets a phone call and he's like, oh no, they've got our boy, what do we do next? And it's, oh man, it's like, oh, we're just broadcasting to the audience what to do. At the same time, there are some inspired moments of he gets to monologue. There's a big kind of chase scene through trains and parade as well that were choreographed pretty well. So there are some highlights, but overall I was like, man, this is really, really not good.
Yeah, there are parts of this. Hold on. Regarding critics coming in soft on Spike Lee, I'm a little bit one of those. I don't want to be too harsh on this because I've been convinced since I watched it, looking at reviews, that people are really warm on this movie. A lot of critics are very warm on this movie. I was watching Chris Stuckman's review on YouTube, and he does dip into a little bit some of these problems about halfway through it, but overall he really sticks to the highs of highest to lowest. And there are highs. There are a lot of things that work really good in here. Denzel is doing fantastic work for what's here. Also, A$AP Rocky's surprisingly good. He should do more movies. Like, he's solid. My man's got aura. Spike knows how to bring that out of him, right? Jeffrey Wright is a lot of fun in here. Like, there's a lot of guest appearances. There's some really great needle drops in highest to lowest. And New York looks great, by the way. Like, and it's cool to see Denzel running around like in the subway, actually out of like a green screen set, you know, and doing stuff out in the city. Like, that stuff is special. Like, that stuff works good. But there's also large sequences of this movie that are shot in a penthouse with a green screen back that look real bad. And it's a lot of it, Spike feels very passive. Like, it feels like he just sat back and said, all right, guys, go ahead and do the scene. We're going to roll cameras here and we're just going to cut to him whenever. And he joked like I watched a couple interviews because I was trying to figure out, he joked about doing like one takes with Denzel, like, yep, one take, that's good. And I'm like, hold on a second. Like, I know he's getting older, but like, it just feels like a lot of this, he was just kind of sitting back and letting them act it out like a play. And much of this is primarily in the kidnapping stuff, like Andy talked about. Our movie sets up fine. King David arrives at his studio. Like, he wakes up in his office in the morning. He just signed a big deal. He talks to his wife about maybe getting out of Stray Dog and starting something new. He goes to work and has this whole exchange with a coworker there about trying to buy his shares of the company. And that's where it starts to slow down a bit. But then you go back to the house for the evening and his son goes missing and he gets this call off screen. And then he comes back in and tells the wife, and it quickly devolves into like a parody of like a crime movie. Like, all these cops come bustling in with all this gear and, oh, we have to get set up and tap the phone lines. Oh, we couldn't trace it in time. Like, really clunky. And it gets better. Like, it gets moving again when the movie starts to break out and we start to deal with like taking calls for ransom and like the actual crime stuff. But like, it's weird. It's weird and it feels out of place, and it feels like it needed reshoots or needed another pass at it.
Yeah, it feels very paint by number in a lot of ways, which I hate to say. Also, Denzel is a star, but he's surrounded by a bunch of amateurs. Like, no one besides like Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright always brings his A game. He's really good in this too. But everyone else just feels like a TV actor. There's a guy, Aubrey Joseph, who plays his son, and again, there's a lot of like these boomerisms where he's like, "Son, you need to get off that phone and stop worrying about social media." And it's like, actually, as a music executive, social media is a huge part of the business, and no, you do need to be very much, you know. And his son plays basketball, and that's where kind of the kidnapping happens, when they're at this like basketball camp. And it's just, none of these relationships feel convincing. His wife doesn't feel like a real person. His son, his relationship with Jeffrey Wright does more, and that's interesting because Jeffrey Wright is clearly like an ex like felon or someone who's done prison time, and he's been given this chance. Like, he's the driver / like confidant of David King. So that works. We don't get enough of our antagonist, A$AP Rocky, as a young felon. We hear him on the phone a couple times, and then we have a standoff later in the film, as you would expect. But we don't really see much of his side of the story, or like motivation as to why he's doing this, or any kind of motivations on that side. So it's just it feels like a script outline that's not quite finished.
Yeah, which is weird because it's a remake, right? Like, and that like brings in some questions of larger themes that I think are a little confusing as well. You know, I really like the character of David King here, King David. Like, there's this great sequence early when he like arrives at his studio, and this woman's outside playing guitar for him. She's a guest actually, Jensen McCrae, who is a young artist who's really fantastic, and she sings this like hymn to him about how much she wants to be a part of the record label. And he is a literal kingmaker, like in his culture, right? And his penthouse and his work are surrounded by all of these like great arts, like paintings and tapestries and all kinds of stuff, like great color and pops, like celebrating black art and black culture. He has a conversation with his wife early in the film about donating to a prominent black youth movement or charity, which is something they do every year. And it's weird because it feels like a lot of that echoes Spike Lee's own life. Like Spike Lee is not like quite the king of New York or anything, but like when I see Spike Lee, he's usually like in the back of an SUV with a driver, right? Like he's being like escorted around New York because like that's the kind of person he is. And he donates so much of his time to like black arts and black excellence. So like I can't help but see a bit of him in David King, right? That's like that part. They took this early Kurosawa film and then pulled it over and just dropped it in this whole new setting and this whole new culture. And like that stuff works pretty good. And Lee even goes to the trouble to elevate like other young black artists in this movie, right? A$AP Rocky, Ice Spike, Jensen McRae, like some of these other needle drops in here. Like he's very clearly putting these, like platforming these people in his film and saying, look, these are like great young artists, like that we should, be aware of. This is where the culture's headed. But then the character David King often condemns these people and he like says, well, kid, you just don't get it. You know what I mean? Yeah, you should spend less time on your phone and more time hustling and hitting the streets. And it's like, it's confusing. Like, I don't understand. Are we saying that these artists are great and they're what's next, or that they just don't get it, and they're never going to get it? And maybe it's worth another pass. Like maybe I should understand it first time through, but like, it just seems a little confused, like the thematically odd, I think. Whereas those other films seem so much more clear.
Yeah, it's thematically all over the place. I was thinking things like Black Klansman from 2018, which we did a review on the show. And that's an incredible film that has very just strong themes, and it's a masterwork. And then it's like David has to stop caring so much about money, but also save his business. But also, it's about family or something. It's just all like, you're gonna have highs and lows in life, kid. And it's like,
yeah.
What? But again, he reminds me of Sonny Hayes in the F1 movie of it looks like he's gonna pass the torch and then he just passes it to himself. And
it's so it's a little self-indulgent.
Yeah, and also there's a big chase scene throughout New York and like on the subways, up and down stairs and stuff. And I'm like, Denzel Washington is like 70 or near 70. I know he's not doing any of those stunts. And again, it's like old man comes in to tell everybody what's what, and hey kid, get off that phone, and this is what real music is. It is just like, what are we doing? It's like got this fan fiction.
Yeah, it's got this boomer savior problem that like, it's not bad. Like, again, I like David King. I like what Denzel's doing here, but like, I don't know. It's a bummer. Like, I was looking forward to Spike Lee's film. Like, this is his first contemporary movie in a minute. I know Defy Bloods had like some stuff that was set in modern day, but for the most part, like, we're in a totally different setting, right? We're having flashbacks to Vietnam and stuff. Klansman was a period picture. Like, that wasn't set in modern day. So I don't know, modern New York, like Empire Records kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. I think I was just overhyped. Maybe I just came in with too high of expectations. But some of that Penthouse stuff, it really doesn't work that good. Like I think people are being soft on it. Like some of the editing choices are very odd.
Again, it does what a lot of the streamers do, what Netflix famously does. They'll pay for the names, so that they'll pay for Denzel Washington, Spike Lee, get the big names on the marquee, and then cut corners everywhere else, on the writing, on the script, on the stars, on the supporting cast, production, and you can really see it in a lot of this. I was going to mention Ice Spice makes a cameo. She's in this for like 30 seconds, and I was like, oh, I thought because she's one of the names, like a part of the promo of the movie, and it's like she literally meets David, and then we never see her again.
I missed her.
Oh, I thought she was gonna come back.
Yeah, because I was looking for her. About a third of the way through the movie, I remembered, oh yeah, she's in this somewhere. So like, let's keep an eye out. I figured her hair would be different. You were like, we got out of the theater. You asked me, sorry, no, what was she? You're like, oh, she was in the first 20 minutes. What? That was her? Like, she's barely in the damn movie. Well, like, she just happened to be walking by the set one day. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, whatever. Hey, like I think a lot of people want to work with Spike. I am glad we got to see this in the theater. I do want to clarify, like while it wasn't as cinematic as maybe as I had hoped, like it's a shame that it's not in more theaters, like if anything, so people could see it. I don't know how many more Spike Lee movies we're getting. You know what I mean? Like he's getting up there. And while I think this isn't his best of late, like I did still enjoy it. I think like there's parts I didn't like. I'm hoping I'll be warmer on it in the future. But any other thoughts or recommendations, Andy?
I think I'm ready.
Andy, would you recommend highest to lowest?
I'm going to go with soft pass on this and save it for streaming. If you're really interested in both Spike Lee or Denzel Washington, check it out next month when it's available on Apple TV Plus. I was really pretty disappointed. Maybe it was my own fault for hyping up the stars, but I was really looking forward to it. But yeah, it's a weak script, weak themes, but strong performances from of course Denzel Washington and Jeffrey Wright. Everyone else is kind of playing second fiddle. It feels like film by algorithm, where it's like, oh, let's get some of these young musicians to get in the youth. Like that's how it feels like. Some of the production isn't convincing. So I was really pretty cold on it.
Yeah, I came out of the theater feeling pretty disappointed, and like that's okay, like it happens. Like maybe I went in with expecting something different, but like there's just large parts of this movie that don't work that good. And like I said, I think Spike was just a bit more passive on set. I think it was just a bit more like, hey, I'm working with Denzel Washington, man. Sit back and let Denzel do his thing, right? We've done 4 movies together, like we have a rapport. But I think a little bit more intention would have been helpful in some of those more dramatic scenes. It comes in at the end, like it picks up for sure. But there's some dips in highest to lowest. There's some dips in quality. I think it is perfectly fine, perfectly mid Spike Lee for sure. Like I don't think it's his best. It's not his worst. But yeah, glad I guess got to see it. I maybe soft pass as well. Wait for streaming. No rush. Don't go out of your way. Don't go to crappy studio movie grill and see it like we did, dog. I know we don't talk about brands a lot on here, like specifically Studio Movie Grill, but dude, Studio Movie Grill sucks.
We're gonna get an anti-sponsorship.
No one's gonna whatever, dude. Yeah, we're not big enough. It's fine. If you have a local, support your waiters, I guess, at Studio Movie Grill. But like, dude, whatever, babe. It's just not good here. Anyway, we got to talk about some upcoming trailers. We got to talk about some things that are coming out in the very near future. I'm gonna be busting in with the first one of these. Andy, what do we call this segment?
It's time for the trailer park.